This video is just like all my other Akatsuki videos where I talk about the strength of the characters, starting off with the fishman's skills. He is best suited for combat against opponents using high amounts of chakra. The more high chakra his opponent has, the stronger he would be in the fight against them, i.e., why Obito didn't join him against Killer B, because that would just be redundant, as Kisame would feed on B's chakra more and more over time, and Killer B himself has a lot of chakra, and Kisame already has a, a style that matches B's and outclasses him, whereas B is a melee fighter. Kisame openly manipulates and controls the battlefield, and has sword combat to rival B. As for his biology and other abilities, Kisame can breathe and move underwater just as quickly as he can on land. But that's not the most impressive thing he can do, as he scales directly to Killer B in terms of speed. Kisame is able to parry Killer B in his V1 cloak. This is impressive for many reasons that I'll get into, but we do see Kisame being able to perform a hand sign faster than what these two can perceive, as as Killer B was surprised that Kisame was still alive later on, as the hand signs Kisame pulled off were to make sure that he was, not decapitated from this double lariat. This is important because Gaara, Darui, Kankuro, Temari, and Gaara all have relative speed, as you'll see in a little bit, as Gaara can block A's attacks, and Gaara can shoot his attacks off at the same time as Darui, whom has the laser circus being a barrage of light-based attacks, and Killer B can mollywop him and said that he was holding back on him all these years. A, when facing on against Naruto, met, although a less experienced version of a speedster like Killer B, but his attacks were dodged, and these feats were calced up to 77 times the speed of light. This is important. This is all reaching up to Killer B's base, which would be about 77 times the speed of light, as Killer B can keep up with KCM1 Naruto. Base Killer B gets parried by, not base Killer B, but V1 Cloak B gets parried by Kisame. This is important because the curse mark has shown to be relative to a tail beast cloak, with the curse mark being stated to be around a 10 times multiplier. So, Kisame is around is around 80 times the speed of light. But to quickly debunk what most people say about Kisame being this fast, just because he got blitzed by KCM Naruto here doesn't mean it's an actual blitz. If you look at the context of the actual panel itself, I know Six did this in one of his videos before, but Kisame literally couldn't move. So it's like, how is it a blitz if he can't move or, get out of the way? And he was facing back from Naruto. So it's not exactly like he would be able to dodge or move out of the way of the attack. So overall, not very good um, way to try and say Kisame is slower. Although Kisame was destroyed by Killer B and A's Lariat and a highly amped version of B's Lariat, V2 Lariat, uh, Kisame does have great enough durability to where he didn't instantly die from this attack, and Samehada was able to heal him before he passed away. Uh, this is important because it scales him slightly above, if not solidly above, multi-continental level attacks from the likes of the Eight Tails, who can launch Biju bombs, to which the to which A can damage both A's, the third and fourth Raikage, and these Biju bombs can vaporize mountains. Although it did leave a gaping hole in his chest, it would be amped more than 10 times, and by the 10 times it would be 8 times 10 for the amount of damage it would do. So the amount of power behind that one blow would already have been enough to hurt Kisame. Now add that with um now add that with seven times 10 multiplier, because Killer B, when he attacked Kisame, he had originally V2 form, but because of Samehada, he was brought down to V1, so it'd be a 70 times boost. So now that we're done with the Sharkman's stats and skills, let's go over to his abilities. Uh, well, jutsu, rather. He can use Earth Release to dig under the ground like most ninja can, but he is less stealthy about it and raises up Samehada like a fin to either sneak attack a foe or be super intimidating. And it's really helpful to use Silent Killing before using this uh, the underground technique, as Silent Killing removes all sound from your footsteps for a given period. And as for more offensive jutsu, he can shoot his water shark bullets, to which he can either do a barrage, which are smaller than a finger but can hit with enough force to uh, go through a car. I would say it would be about it would be on the size of small building level in terms of power. But if you want to have more AP behind your attacks, I'd say the water shark bomb is around uh, other characters that scale to him. The water shark bomb is kind of like his version of the Rasengan and Chidori and water dragon, where it directly scales to you in terms of your AP and ability to take attacks. And the super water shark bomb takes a bunch of the water that Kasame is controlling and launches it out either through water next to him or water that he creates and shoots out of his mouth, uh, where it can be the size of a mansion, and if it eclipses and eats a attack, it will increase its own raw power. I would say, just like the regular water shark bomb, that it's around Kisame's own AP as it wrestled with uh, Mike Guy's Hirodora until it passed through it, because it's not a chakra attack, it's a physical attack. And yes, the only thing that the water shark bomb and super water shark bomb can absorb to increase its power is chakra based attacks. And speaking of chakra, Kasame can use his to create water clones. These clones, he can make 3 of them at 30% power. Well, 4 of them at 30, using 30% of his chakra. Chakra doesn't dictate stats, but it does dictate your overall stamina. As you see in the final valley fight at the end of Naruto, Naruto and Sasuke were still able to trade blows and hurt each other. Although they were tired, they were still able to harm each other and launch each other ridiculous distances. Same with using the power of the Rasengan and Chidori. And Kisame mainly uses the water clones to grab and nab any lingering opponents, like how he did against Team Guy, and put them all in water prisons. He can. He more famously does this against either opponents like uh, Roshi, the Son Goku's Jinchuriki, or against who has a fire who has a bunch of fire jutsu, or against a large crowd of ninja, like how he did against Might Guy and company, where he's able to flood a canyon by spewing water out of his mouth. And speaking of spewing things, Kisame can summon sharks all around him that all scale to his AP and durability, as they're able to eat him limb from limb when he commits suicide. Yeah. Moving away from that grim story, Kisame uses the water bubble to help increase his chances in a fight, like how he did against Killer B, and used it to gain momentum over his opponent, as he's faster underwater than they are, as he's, well, a shark. And but it does have one weakness, where if you're in a group, the some members of the group can leave while you try to get Kisame to follow you. Kisame wields Samehara, one of the 7 swords, which are all given to strong swordsmen, but Kisame killed uh his his higher up, so he technically didn't earn the weapon like all the others did. Like Zabusa, he earned the sword because he was a good swordsman. Kisame stole Samehara, so we can't really say on his swordsmanship, but we can say that he works well with Samehara, mainly his kit, as with it, it stays around this size, but perpetually through the battle, it can grow in size as it eats chakra, and it's stated to be able to eat 6 tails worth of chakra. But you might be wondering, what does 6 tails equal? Well, 6 tails, well, 6, well, Biju are able to the vaporize mountains, um, and Biju overall, um, uh, just the normal one tail uh, can shoot a Biju bomb, but it can't do it as rapidly as the others, mainly Kurama. But as we go up, we will see how he doesn't he wouldn't be able to absorb natural energy, but he would be able to still but the one problem that Samehada does have is the fact that anyone can wield the blade and take it from him, as Samehada is a living being that would, depending on who it likes more, it will attach itself to them and shoot out spikes to stop people from attaching it, from wielding it. That's how Kisame. That's how Kisame lost Samehada, because it liked Gyuki's chakra more, and how Gyuki was more upbeat, and how it liked, quote unquote, the octopus chakra. But as for that, it can increase his power and take 8 tails and 6 tails worth of chakra cloaks. With it being able to grant him, at least I think, at the most, an 80 times boost, as we went over before throughout the video that Samehada ripped off a V2 cloak. But, as all things, his weapon turned against him, and Samehada, well, Kisame, forced, although technically still won, he lost in the end, killing himself. Wanted to say thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button if you liked the video. Hit subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell notification to know when new videos come out. And I will see you next time. Bye.